We're now only 5 months away from Apple's brand new AirPods Pro 3, which will finally get an actual upgrade with a full redesign, unlike the past couple of years where Apple simply switched to USB-C and then added some new software features. But this year, we're likely getting the best AirPods Pro update ever, so in this video, I'm gonna cover 10 new leak updates you need to hear if you're trying to figure out if you should wait for the new Pro 3s or just buy the current ones for only $200 on Amazon using the link below, especially if you're trying to avoid tariffs, which we will talk about in just a minute. So jumping right into leak update number 1, we have a full design overhaul according to Mark Gurman. Now we don't have any specific details yet, but we are looking to get both the case and the earbuds themselves getting redesigned, and I think it's probably gonna get smaller since that's what Apple did with the AirPods 4. They also got rid of this back button, this pairing button, and switched to like a new tap system since you don't really use it that often. They also got rid of the little cutout, the visible cutout in the front, and now they have the LED light shining through the plastic, which I think looks really cool. So I expect those changes to also come to the new Pro 3s. Now jumping into number 2, we're expecting much better active noise cancellation according to Kasutami on X. Now I've gotta say, when these first came out, the noise cancellation was amazing, but it has now been a couple of years, and of course, like the AirPods Max is noticeably better. And even last September, we flew to New York and I tested the Soundcore Liberty 4s, and they actually had better ank on a flight compared to the AirPods Pro 2, surprisingly. So Apple definitely has room for improvement, so I'm excited to see how much better they make it on the new Pro 3s. And moving on to leak update number 3, here's one that is very, very exciting. According to Mark Gurman, we're gonna be getting real-time language translation on the new AirPods Pro models. This is super exciting because it's gonna make it so much easier to travel to other countries. Like when we personally flew over to Taiwan and to China, it was quite difficult, but with a product like this, with AirPods, it would do so well because there's a lot of different devices out there that kind of suck. The software isn't that great and it doesn't work well, but you can trust Apple to do a killer job and pull this off very well with translation. Now, the way it's gonna work is that it's actually gonna rely on the translation app on your iPhone. So let's say if you're talking to somebody who speaks Spanish, it's gonna auto-translate into English in your ears, and then when you speak, it'll show up on your iPhone, translate it into Spanish, and play the audio for them to hear, which is really cool. I think that's gonna be great. And also there's a chance this feature might come to older versions of AirPods, like the Pro 2s, unless Apple specifically requires it to have a new chip, which brings us to update number 4. And that is the brand new H3 chip, which basically runs everything on the AirPods. Now, as we know, the current H2 chip handles everything like, let's say, noise cancellation, adaptive EQ, the Hey Siri features, fast switching, and so much more. Now, the new H3 chip is gonna do all of that, but better. It might even reduce latency even further. Maybe it'll support some new sort of lossless audio feature, who knows? And also probably some brand new features that Apple is planning, which brings us to number 5. For a long time, it's been rumored that the AirPods would get a heart rate monitoring feature, and we actually got that with the new Powerbeats Pro 2, and since we know that Apple owns Beats, then we definitely know that that feature is coming to the AirPods Pro 3. However, some people did say that it doesn't work that well. It's not as reliable on those. So hopefully Apple spends some time really improving the implementation on the AirPods Pro 3 and getting the software to work more reliably. Now for number 6, this one is a given. It's improved sound quality. Apple does this every single time, but with the AirPods Pro 2, there was a massive jump in quality compared to the originals. It was so much better than I expected, so I had to upgrade, and I have been loving these. Now, Apple is of course rumored to improve the sound quality again, including both the speaker drivers and a faster and better audio processor with the new H3 chip. Moving on to number 7, apparently Apple might even put in a body temperature detection feature, which this has not been confirmed yet. There is a chance, we don't know, but why would you even want this? Well, let's say maybe you're getting overheated from a very intense workout. It could kind of give you a notification on your phone telling you to cool off a little bit. Also, let's say if you're potentially gonna have a heat stroke from being out in the sun way too long, maybe it could warn you. That could be very helpful. Or let's say if you're starting to get a fever, it can send you an early warning on your iPhone, and I think that would be really cool and convenient. Now for number 8, this is not really in the rumor cycle, but I really do wish that Apple will improve the microphones, because right now it's pretty good, it's decent, sounds good, but it's not the best. Sometimes you can kind of listen to a voice memo, it doesn't sound that great. So I think Apple could improve the microphones, maybe add a couple extras, or just improve the software reliability to make it even better. Now for leak update number 9, one of the things that Apple could improve is battery life. However, we do have some leaks saying that the case might get smaller, so Apple might choose, instead of giving us extra battery life with new features and changes, to just make the case even smaller while keeping the same battery life. Now, one of the ways, of course, is the H3 chip. It could be a lot more efficient, might help with battery life there. Apple might even use new battery tech, but I don't think it would be worth it, since honestly, the battery life on these has been just fine, so I think it'll stay the same. And finally, for number 10, we have the pricing. Now, I was expecting Apple to keep the same $250 price tag as before. However, we do now have all of these tariffs that are gonna make it very difficult for Apple, because some AirPods are assembled in China, and about 65% are assembled in Vietnam. Of course, Trump has placed a 90-day pause on tariffs, limiting them to just 10% for every country except China, which is now apparently up to 145% total, including the new 125% jump on top of the original 20%, which is just insane. And just by looking at some of the activity over on X, it doesn't look like China wants to back down anytime soon, so this could end up being quite bad. And even if some sort of deal is made, I don't expect the tariffs for China to end up any lower than maybe around 50% by September. So in that case, Apple has about 5 months to relocate as much of the AirPods supply chain as they can to other countries like India, or let's say Vietnam, assuming that a deal is made to get those tariffs lower. But even still, it seems like 10% will be an absolute floor for every country, and even that has impacts on Apple's profit margins. So with that said, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple raises the prices up to $300 for the new AirPods Pro 3, especially since Apple has a good excuse to raise prices that most consumers will understand. So with that said, I think either $250 to $300 would be a good price point for the new AirPods Pro 3. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below and your favorite expected feature in the comments. Definitely subscribe for more videos like this one and check out one of those two right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.